Everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of Mint Out of the Box, the only action figure unboxing show that uses my 40 years plus action figure hands-on collecting knowledge to share with you in the vast viewership out there in the world of the YouTube. I am your host, the godfather of toys, the J-Bomb. With me as always, WrestleMania Mr. T, and the greatest baseball giveaway in the history of the game, the Randall, who is now a Colorado Rocky. But we covered that last week. This week, tonight, it's Double Build-A-Figure Night here on the YouTube show known as Mint Out of the Box. I'm happy to be back with you. I love a gimmick. It's one of my favorite words. I love a gimmick. I love when you get something with a figure and it's a little bit extra. Whether it's extra accessories, extra heads, hands, other things. But I really like this whole trend of Build-A-Figure. The only thing I wish I would change... Now, the McFarlane, which we're going to build tonight, I enjoy because it's usually different characters. And with comics, you can pretty much get away with that because the comic book landscape is vast. The characters in DC are vast. And we're going to build here tonight the Frost King from the Batman Justice League Endless Winter series. Sorry, Randall, stay there. So, as you see, we always try to display all the four figures it came with. You had Wonder Woman, Batman, Black Adam, and Green Lantern John Stewart. The Batman's really cool looking. Looks kind of like Vigilante, but he's got the big snow jacket on. I guess it's some kind of snow. I never read the story, but some kind of snow thing going on. Obviously, his name is Frost King. And then over here, in honor of tonight, WrestleMania. I'm not watching WrestleMania because I think the current state of wrestling sucks. I can barely stomach AEW. I watched the Ring of Honor show the other night. Had some good points, but it tasted a little bit of the UWF buyout from Jim Crockett Promotions back in '87, which I hated. And it looks like Tony Khan is doing the same thing. I've said before, AEW seems like he does with that what I would do with my action figures, but he's a billionaire, can afford actual wrestlers. I couldn't do that. But as you all know, I like to collect the classic figures, and I was forced to buy all these figures because I wanted the Stone Cold. I wanted to build the Vince McMahon, which we're going to build here first. I got the Steve Austin when I was in Florida a couple weeks ago. Steve Austin was always one of my favorite wrestlers. I didn't jump on the bandwagon when he became Stone Cold. I was a huge fan of him when he was in World Class. They used to advertise the Chris Adams School of Wrestling, and I watched Steve Austin from day one, followed his career through WCW, everything. In fact, I was only barely holding on to watching wrestling when Austin entered the WWF as the ringmaster just for him, even though I didn't think they're going to do much with him. But then as we saw, he evolved into Stone Cold. And as everyone knows, that was probably one of the best times to be a wrestling fan because everybody and their mom was watching wrestling. But I wanted to build this Vince McMahon because that's the classic Vince McMahon. Before we knew he was the owner, before we knew he was the promoter or was really advertised, he was an announcer, the ring announcer, the commentator. And this just throws me back to when I was a kid, when me and the Belt Doctor would sit and watch WWF's greatest matches over and over again, when every Saturday morning we get up and watch that countless hours of wrestling was on TV. So I'm going to open this up. This is actually a really good Austin figure. I know some of the people complain because I think it's the vest is censored. It's not as accurate as some people want it to be. But I still think it's a good representation of Stone Cold. They made 1 billion Stone Cold figures. But what are you going to do? So I'm going to throw this. The WWF ones are usually a lot easier to build. As you see, I've had difficulty building these things in the past. So throw that together. As you see, I'm already having difficulty. And he comes with the old school semi-WWF logo on the microphone. Well, we had to pause real quick because I was having difficulty putting together. and I still can't put it together. So, good going, Mattel. Why can't you make these things? I'm a grown man with some pretty good hand strength. I can't get this thing to stay in. I've seen representations online. I don't know what people did to build it, but I can't get in here easily for you guys. So, biggest complaint about these Build-A-Figures. So here again, now we're going to try this. And I'm already looking at it. And it already isn't looking very well. So, and we'll give it a shot. The legs went in fairly easy. That was the one I thought went in easy. Got the legs. As you see, we had to use the miracle of editing to do this properly. I don't know what it is about Build-A-Figures that make it so hard. I gotta admit, once I finally fiddled with the Vince McMahon a little bit, that didn't sound right. You had to turn it a little bit, and then just pop in, and it ended up being okay. This thing here is very sharp, and both producer Steph and I injured our hands pushing this thing in all together. But after all the frustration and everything, you get two really cool pieces out of it. Can I make a suggestion out there, toy makers? I am totally cool with me buying these 4 figures, clipping the proof of purchase and sending it in, and you give me this figure in the display box like that. I don't need to build it. I mean, unless you can make it super easy. I just got the Superman Man of Tomorrow from the Starro, Build-A-Starro. If I can't successfully build a starfish, it might be time to close down Mint Out of the Box and go get a job, you know, or put a show on about me petting sheep or something. I don't know. But here's the figures. Producer Steph will take some photos and throw them in there so you can get a good look at them. Like I said, the Vince McMahon comes with the WWE WrestleMania series. You got Stone Cold, Bret Hart dressed like my mother, AJ Styles dressed like my neighbor, and who's the last one? Shawn Michaels. When I didn't care about looking at Shawn Michaels anymore. And the Frost King comes with Green Lantern, Black Adam, Batman, and Wonder Woman from the Endless Winter series. I got all those the day I spent that $500 and bought that almost that entire shipper, pulled the Bruce Wayne, and just bought the whole shipper. And that's how I got all those. I haven't seen any of these in stores since that day. I haven't traveled cross country and didn't see them, so I don't know if they're going to come out slower after the shipper. Who knows? But luckily I found them when I did. So these are 2 Build-A-Figures. The only one I know is coming up soon is the Build-A-Figure of Starro. But it's a Target exclusive one where they release one and then they come out in waves. So who knows when I'll finally be completing that. But after this mess tonight, I could use the break. So I hope everybody had a good WrestleMania weekend. I hope everyone is excited. Baseball season starts this week. I'm looking forward to see how the Angels do. I'm excited to see how the real-life Randall is going to fare in Colorado. We are looking forward to heading out to Dodger Stadium and sitting with criminals, watching Randall hit home runs. Well, actually, we're not looking forward to the criminal part, but we are looking forward to seeing Randall when we go to Colorado to the Dodger Stadium. We're going to be going to Colorado, check him out. We'll be doing toy hunts there. We got a big trip planned next month for producer Steph's birthday. Yeah, another year older. But we're going out there to celebrate, and we will be checking out the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, so we're looking forward to that. But like producer Steph always says, it doesn't matter how many birthdays she's had, she's always going to be younger than me. And no truer statement has ever been made here on Mint Out of the Box. So, also, if you guys get a chance, head over to the No Filter podcast network. Go to nofilter.com. Check out, they have a lot of podcasts. Check out The Bill Collector. I was Bill's guest this week. We had about an hour-long conversation about the state of collecting, just some background with what I collect, what he collects, just everything about collecting without really talking about specific things. Just what we really do when we say, hey, I'm going to collect something. We talk about like the heart of the matter. So check that out. It was a really good conversation with my good buddy Bill. He has a pretty good podcast over there. Actually has a really good podcast because he's very engaging. He talks about a lot of things. Great artist, and he has his collectible stuff too. He does podcasts every week, so go check out his podcast, The Bill Collector, over on the No Filter Network. I was there, and who knows, I might be popping up on the No Filter Network with a podcast of my own so I can reach you guys more and more often. So don't roll your eyes, Producer Steph. It's literally in your name, Producer Steph. So have a good week, everybody. I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.